Hello, comic fans. Here's Earl Grey. Robert Crumb will become 79 at the end of this month, and so I thought this would be a good opportunity to celebrate his birthday. And this fantastic series of his sketchbooks reprinted by Taschen. It's not the first time a German publisher published all the stuff in these books here. I compared it to the 2001 or 2001 books that I own as well in an earlier video. But yeah, now we have not only Volume 5, Volume 4, 3, 2, and believe me, there's number 1 down there. But we have Robert Crumb, the sketchbook number 6, and this seems sort of the concluding one, even though you don't know. This man will maybe, hopefully, turn 120 and will give us even more of this fantastic stuff. This is the cover here for that thing. And you can see by the amount of marks that I put in this book here, this won't be a short video under no circumstance. Yeah, beautifully made hardcovers they did here. And all the stuff that's reprinted here doesn't feel as the work of an old man. Not at all. In no part. In a way, he's better than ever, I feel. Still having his energy, drawing energy, circling around his favorite subjects as a woman, as a mythology, historic, his ego, of course. Yeah, we will see a lot of the stuff here. A central character and figure and point in his life is obviously his wife, Aline Kominsky, a cartoonist by herself. And yeah, she's really quite a character. If you ever have seen The Odd Couple in an interview, yeah, she can handle him pretty well. So, and here we have already Mr. Crumb in a nutshell. Just eyeballing at one of his favorite parts of the female body. But he can draw fantastic faces as well, as you can see here. Yeah, in case you don't know, these are it's reprinted material from his sketchbooks, and he's obviously an artist. Since the very beginning, he draws as he breathes, and he doesn't shy away of copying other artists and giving them credit, like here Jay Disbrow. Here the Joe book with old Jay Disbrow comics is highly recommended, as all Joe books, by the way. But he has a distinct style, and Robert Crumb thought he could try to mimic it a bit. Yeah, I have to say he has a particular interest in particularly built women. Here's his wife, Aline, and there we have Mary Butcher on roller skates. Look at this hatching here, that we can cherish the whole book, through the whole book here. It's interesting to see all these lines and to see what parts of the body did interest him the most, obviously. But the bike in the background and all this stuff is beautiful as well, of course. always uses everything that lies around him, like newspaper, photographs, or odd scenes here. Just sketches, but it feels like a finished, very important picture. Oh, I love these brushes here, and when he does this kind of stuff, these sceneries in the landscape, with almost endlessly patient. These were drawn in his refuge in France. He lives, or has lived for many, many years now in France. And that's what he makes of abstract expressionism. Looks more like a dirty napkin. What's it mean? So overall, he looks more into past eras of art when he looks for inspiration, or at least as much in past eras as in modern times. With sometimes bewilder him and frighten him. More of these beautiful landscapes here. And almost no other artist is so good as an example to look at when you try to learn drawing. Look, for an instance, here, this curtain there. Art for art's sake. And always his contemplating on his own self and his situation in the world. All this junk, it's embarrassing already. That fellow doesn't seem burdened by his stuff. Yeah, he lives in the city of self-pity. He tries to trick himself into new formulas, new ways of drawing, even though it's always a Robert Crumb drawing in the end. But here he obviously tried to use a thick felt pen or marker to get rid a bit of his hatching mania, all these fine lines. And it mimics pretty well the blurriness of old photos. And this was obviously an old photo. And some drawings are just beautiful drawings, like this on the right hand side here. The dress looks a bit goofy, but you can see almost always his very special interest for the lower parts of the female body. And every moment is significant. I'm so happy now just being with you. I'm filled with love. Will you marry me? Yeah, men are... I feel if Robert Crumb would be really sexist or something, then it's according to man that he really draws men sometimes as the lowest slime that creeps on Mother Earth. Flesh and blood comics are gross. The agony, the ecstasy. Lots of portraits of women, and all very well done. And one of his old characters here, Mr. Natural, giving the heebie-jeebies to Flaky Food. And drawing on the right-hand side was obviously drawn when Aline Kominsky-Crumb was in a clothing store and tried out some outfits. And he had some time to draw, but was very annoyed by pop music on the French radio, which squeezed him on his head like this. Oh, very existential stuff, the Crumb way. Why was I born? Good question. You won't find the answer in Balzac. Magnetic forces pulling from all directions. And then we end with this kind of diagram almost. And the dogmatic sentence here, art for art's sake leads nowhere. Robert Crumb, 2000. You can discuss that. Using all kinds of inspirations for his drawings, as you can see here, this cute flying dog was seen in the pattern of the carpet in the living room. Yeah, this is almost a tutorial how to draw and how to learn drawing. If you don't feel the need or the drive to take some piece of paper and fill it with some marks after browsing through this book, yeah, you will never draw, probably. Yeah, unleashing his inner demons here. Hypnagogic hoodoo. One of his friends that he portrayed over and over again, Miss Carol Vinson, and look at her smile. They had obviously some kind of conspirative relationship going on, and yeah. Charles Crumb, Robert Crumb's brother or late. And here some characters invented by him, or created by him, drawn by Crumb, Robert. And sometimes he goes really to town with his drawing. I mean, I don't know how much it took him, how long it took him to draw this stuff here. These Apache dance, French man there. Or this Russian Russian musician from an old photo. There's a wide, amazing range of very loose sketching and stuff like this in this book, and that's what I really like a lot. Look at this existential, yeah, nonsensical, but still pretty impactful surrealism. And title line alone here, the letters are crazily good. One thing that I never get, I guess, is his relationship to religion. Sometimes I feel more irony, like maybe on this page here, and sometimes, yeah, it's true interest in religion, and but religion of all kinds, and there are a lot of remarks on old Egyptian and Sumerian and whatever mythologies that he's obviously interested in a lot. The more so that he is an old man and looks death in the face. And I mean, this is really, it's very simple, but impactful. And next to side by side to these super ducks here. Some studies here of young guys on French TV, and a square from Delaware, and some cool jazz musician trying to teach him some rhythm, but he doesn't get it. What do you mean? His view on people, women and men and alike, is not always very tender, like you can see here with these cow people, cow men and cow women. And you can ponder, what's your position on the pyramid of evil? I should put this one here on my wall. This is great. Look at these letters here. Again, something that you can try out in your own sketchbook, and as an inspiration, source of inspiration. And we are utterly in the deep morass of our lives, as he shows us again and again. And women are so much stronger than men. I wish I knew what the hell I was doing. And again, Robert Crumb trying to learn something from others, comics, like here some Sinister comics. First I read Superman comics, funny how my brain works, and here obviously some Alex Raymond. And the past is of never-ending fascination to Mr. Crumb. Obviously, here he had some photographs from the 20s and drew them. These young people don't know yet that their lives are sad and tragic. Probably they were, but hopefully they had some nice moments, at least, in their lives. More stuff that was probably copied from old comics. Beautiful street view here. And some nude drawing of one guy here. He was somewhere, I guess Mr. Crumb personally was in a drawing class in London and in the early 2000s, 2003. And there was this guy, and he was not a pretty sight. Yeah, you can say that. And I guess this is the same guy from the front, a retired railroad worker and a naturalist. But of course it's the female body and the magnetic force that it is for Mr. Crumb that always has his fascination here. And this book here is of a lot of filled with self-written texts about his obsessions and his view on the universe and on modern times that he often doesn't understand, but he tries to draw them. And even if he changed some guy in backwards ball cap, then he changed him into Henry VIII afterwards. Maybe you felt more familiar with Henry VIII than with some modern young dude with a baseball cap, which is a bit strange. Because Henry VIII, you know, wasn't the nicest of all guys. Look at this still life here. Yeah, take it in. Okay, that's enough. Beautiful drawings. And over his career, he drew a lot of these guys. Most of them self-portraits. This is obviously not a self-portrait. With all these inner demons and personified thoughts in their head, trying to get out, trying to get free. Hugh Hefner and some other photograph guy. And probably God's not pleased with us. I never should have let them get started. What do you think? Should I give them another chance? I wouldn't, says the alien. Yeah, and when you see stuff like this in the newspaper here and pictures from Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq, you probably would agree with that alien. This is an interesting double page. Why is the infinity of space black? Is this what infinity looks like? Is it really infinite? If you went on a straight line, would you go on forever? Is there in fact a physical forever? Maybe it's a warp and you'd end up back where you started. Is this some kind of a joke? Haha, I'm laughing. Drawn in a reflective moment and a measurement of time. August 6, 2005. 2005. Well, okay, you're right. It's all just an experience of our senses, which are limited, obviously, to a narrow spectrum of sight, sound, taste, smell, and touch. There's more to it than we, with all our powers of perception, can possibly know. All we can do is speculate, build theoretical constructs, and wonder. Here's a series of drawings of his forefathers and foremothers, if this is word. All the crumbs that were before him, and here he is with his first wife, Dana, that he married in '64. That's the son of this marriage, and his wife, Jesse David Crumb, with Erica Sheffy Detlefson. And here is Mr. Crumb again, now with his second wife, Aline, and their daughter, Sophia. And here is what I meant with his interest for obscure mysticism sometimes, but try to take it in. Stop this video and try to understand the picture. On the right, I said, not on the left, on the right. Brings me back a bit to the conversation I had recently with Bill Crabtree about art and what powers art makes it possible. And it's a world of pain. I'm supposed to be learning something from this. Says Richard Rothman, The Ravings of a Madman, and yet this here is obviously Mr. Crumb himself. And you have must infinite patience. That's good advice, always. And we come to an end with this nice book here. Haven't shown you all the pages. This would just take too long. And always remember, you will soon be dead. So, make some things that make sense in your life. And enjoy some comics or some sketches by Robert Crumb. Or do some sketches by yourself. Thanks for listening and watching. Goodbye.